am not ready for this, but here it is, the full spoiler for Chapter 21 of Boruto 2 Blue Vortex. Boruto finally forced himself and decided to come to the battlefield using the flying raijin jutsu. Yeah, or it could also be said as hiraishin no jutsu. But Boruto's arrival on the battlefield wasn't for Sarada. He actually helps Konohamaru, who was literally on the brink of death after completely failing to execute his attack on Matsuri. As for Sarada herself, she's honestly on a perfect power level. Ryu lost badly, but unfortunately Sarada had to fall unconscious. But that's at least the interesting part in this leak. So we'll start all of this from the top. Disclaimer guys, since this leak is text only, I'll be using a few images that I hope are relevant to describe what's going on. But before that, I'm Nim. I truly appreciate every single like and sub from y'all. Thanks guys. The title of Chapter 21 is MANGEKYOU Sharingan. And of course, Sarada is the cover. And yeah, since in the last chapter we saw an impressive performance from MS Sarada, Chapter 21 starts with a flashback, revealing some important things about MS Sarada and the others. But this part especially focuses on Sarada's feelings. She's been thinking about this for a long time. She feels like she's been closing her eyes to the truth for too long. She's anxious about how far away her dream of becoming Hokage seems. In the face of everything that's happened, she's always felt powerless to change anything. But she never wanted to admit that she was powerless. It's like she was afraid to face it, so she chose to look away from the truth. That even includes her feelings and Sumire's feelings, especially her own feelings for Boruto. Sarada always thought those emotions were a weakness. Everything, she believed it all made her weak, but she kept denying it, and without realizing it, she was also denying the hidden power within herself. Then the flashback continues to Kid Boruto's time with Sasuke, when, for the second time, Sasuke became a rogue ninja for siding with Boruto, who was also a fugitive at the time. And after the flashback about MS Sarada, the scene moves back to the battlefield between Ryu and Sarada. After previously Sarada managed to suck up all of Ryu's iron sand that was able to control their movements, it turns out that it doesn't stop there. Ryu, who tried to attack Sarada with his iron sand towards her, it was useless. Because of course, any attack, Sarada was able to suck it into the portal. You know, what's even more impressive is that Sarada can create multiple portals. And not only that, Sarada also seems to be able to select her targets and can also customize her suction portals to large and small sizes. And even more impressive, Sarada can destroy her targets with those portals. But here's the most horrifying part. After Sarada counterattacked Ryu absolutely, Ryu was injured so badly. Even because of Sarada's strong attack, Ryu was bleeding, but not through his mouth, but through his eyes. And that's at least what the leakers said. But after Sarada unleashed an entire potential, what were your expectations, guys? Yeah, it's obvious that Sarada ran out of chakra because with such a huge output from her MS, then Sarada was like a typical Uchiha. She lost consciousness and fell unconscious just after running out of chakra and energy. But unfortunately, the leaker did not continue what will happen next. Or did Ryu manage to escape to the Shinju dimension to regenerate his wounds like Sasuke? Or even this will be the end for Sarada itself, after she ran out of chakra and fell unconscious? Yeah, this will be answered on the 20th, guys. And next, this honestly makes me a little confused with what the leaker meant. He said, "We see the Thorn Soul regenerate and Ada Boruto Kashinkoji talking." But to analyze this, it seems like there are two possibilities. Either Matsuri regenerated after getting an absolute attack from Konohamaru, or even it was Ryu himself. Because of course, between Ryu and Matsuri are really in a very cornered position and are on the verge of death. Yeah, but I suspect if it was Ryu who regenerated, how about you guys? And besides that, we go back to Matsuri and Konohamaru. After he failed to execute Matsuri with one absolute attack, it naturally resulted in a counterattack that put Konohamaru in trouble because Matsuri stabbed him with two of her four-pointed collars. But apparently, Boruto ignored Koji's words to at least wait until the time was right to come to the battlefield. He came using hiraishin and appeared right behind Matsuri. And with his sword technique, he brutally slashed Matsuri. And of course, it made Koji panic to the point of sweating because he ignored his orders to stay in hiding. First of all, Boruto ignored the scenario that Koji was supposed to say. Because why? Koji said that Ryu should ideally be defeated first and then defeat the Matsuri. But surprisingly, Boruto actually came and helped Konohamaru. But this is not something that is disappointing. In fact, this is the newest part. He ignored Koji's words and triggered Jura as their leader to realize Boruto's presence on the battlefield. Will this be the actual battle between Boruto and Jura? Yeah, we hope this will happen. Oh yeah, there's an ad from the leaker again, guys. After Ryu was destroyed by Mess Sarada, Ryu tried to escape by using claw grime. His fingers were almost visible inside the Shinju Dimension Cube. But unfortunately, Jura was just silent and did not react to anything, because it seems Ryu was crushed by the portal's gravity and made him unable to move at all. And then, finally the name of Mess Sarada was revealed, and it was Ohirume, which means the goddess of the sun. And yeah, leaked Chapter 21 is just that, guys. And after I searched for more information, it turns out that Chapter 21 is a total of 41 pages. But is it with a total of 41 pages that we will get the continuation of the Kawaki and Amado scene? I don't know. There are two parts that I'm really waiting for. First Code and second Kawaki. I really want to see the continuation of Chapter 15 after Code was really humiliated by the monster he created. But as a cyborg, will he still lose his arm without regenerating? Well, that's not important really, because the most important thing is what he will do next. But if I may expect, there will definitely be a surprise that Code will do. And also about Kawaki. I'm the only fan who can't wait to see what happens to Kawaki and Amado. But what are your expectations, guys? Kawaki will comply with Amado's request, or even Amado will comply with Kawaki's request. But anyway, if the leaker didn't say anything about Amado and Kawaki, yeah, we should lower our expectation that Kawaki and Amado won't be in Chapter 21. But I forgot to mention this. The leaker said Sarada needs to see the attack coming, and she is floating like Ryu. So indirectly, could this be the effect of her MANGEKYOU Sharingan ability that allows Sarada to float? This leak just keeps making the hype even crazier. But yeah, at least that's what's going down in Chapter 21, guys. Oh yeah, and in conclusion, power of MANGEKYOU Sarada is absolutely HAX. In other words, it is a power that can hurt the opponent. No matter how strong the opponent's defense is, it will still hurt him. Example, if Ryu defense with Iron Sand is unstoppable, it would be difficult to penetrate it with anything. HAX is one of the forces that ignores that, so the sand is absorbed by Sarada's power. So this could mean this is actually a good thing for Gaara, because, you know, only Shinki's ability could release Gaara from his seal. And in other words, Sarada might actually be the true answer to saving Gaara, right? And yeah, that's all I can say to you guys for this Chapter 21 leak. And if there are further updates, I will provide the latest information as soon as possible. Thanks for watching. I'm Nim. I truly appreciate every single like and subs from y'all. Thanks, Databayo.